good? What's good? I'm back. One and only Paul Masson. Another live from Fayettenam Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Hope everybody's doing good out there. About to have another weekend. I don't know what people are gonna do with themselves. Ain't no more Super Bowl, so we probably gonna start doing music reviews on Sundays until NFL starts. Because like it don't make no sense to try to compete with the NFL on Sundays or the Super Bowl. Shouts out to everybody that's tuned in so far. Shouts out to Big Cass, Chris Porterfield, appreciate you. Um, DJ Ike Jeter on Instagram, appreciate you. If y'all haven't went and checked out that J. Cole album, go check out that J. Cole album. They say it's his last album, but you know, he'll probably get an itch here soon, have to do another album. I wouldn't be surprised if Jay-Z drops another album, at least one more before he becomes a trillionaire off into the sunset, because I guess he's a billionaire now, so I guess he's trying to become a trillionaire, even though we only got one person close to being a trillionaire. But that's the new goal now, I guess. After you become a billionaire, become a trillionaire. Let's check on our guests. See what how we looking. One second. I bet you got the time frame mixed up. Probably got the time frame mixed up because he's out there on the West Coast. I think they're 3 hours behind us, so it's 4 p.m. where he's at. Make sure y'all go follow the Paul Pickett podcast as well. We just did an interview with James Get Down Brown out of Winston-Salem, who fought in Rome, Italy. Last card for BKFC. I got an interview coming up with Joshua Oxendine, who is fighting out of Pembroke area, which is right down the road from Fayettenam. He just won his last fight, his debut in the BKFC at Knucklemania 6. He's originally from the BKB. Now he's in the BKFC. And I have an interview with Dan Tower Dog Pettit as well. Dan Tower Dog Pettit. I'm on the way. Hold on one second. Let's see what we got. Okay, say give him 20 minutes. Oh, 2 minutes. Well, yeah, go check out that J. Cole album. I checked it out. I like the production. A lot of good beats on there. A lot more Fayetteville than you guess. If it's if it is his last, I guess it could make sense. Got the Bunch Road Blues. You got a 2-6 song. I think there's another Bunch Road reference in another song. A lot of Fayettenam references. A lot of 2-6 Bunch Road. Really good production. His production is definitely, for mainstream artists, J. Cole has some of the better production. Definitely has some of the better flow, lyrics, delivery. A lot of songs. I usually don't like albums with a lot of songs. Good 10 to 12 really good bangers is typically good enough for an album. But if it is going to be your last one, I guess you might as well put out a bunch of songs on an album, being that his diehard fans might not hear no new music for a while. We don't know if he's going to do any features. Rumor is he's going to be focusing more on business, like Jay-Z, and then maybe drop an album. Who knows? In a few years, maybe 2030, we'll hear the new J. Cole album. Maybe before that, who knows? I don't know. I do know he's been one of the top 3 artists for over a decade as far as fan base and success goes in hip hop. I would say Drake, Kendrick, and Cole for a while were really top dogs. Maybe you could throw probably Kanye up in there too, because Kanye's impact was really huge. But past that, nah, as good as Game thinks he is, he's never I don't think he's ever been top 5 in the game. Maybe that first year he dropped that one, his album, his debut album, maybe you could say he was top 5 at that moment. But at the same time, I mean, a lot of those records were off of 50 Cent's second album that he gave the Game. So like all those singles were 50 Cent songs. So a big portion of his album was 50 Cent's album. So I guess you got to take some away from Game, some credit away from him on that when you had to use another guy's songs from his album that still sold 10 million without those songs. 50 took those songs off of his album and still sold 10 million. That's crazy. And he went back to back 10 million with the Get Rich or Die Trying and the Massacre, both 10 million sold. And the Game sold around 4 or 5 million on the first one. And it was a really good album. Don't get me wrong, it's a really good album. And so he might have been top 5 while that album dropped, but a lot had to do with because of 50. Riding the 50 Cent and the G Unit momentum. Plus you got Dr. Dre producing, which is always a plus. People can say what they want about Dr. Dre, but he's got the greatest ear in hip hop history. The greatest ear. That's why that guy is just turning knobs. He's just turning knobs. So everything is perfect. So it just gets exactly where it needs to be. Let's see. We got any action on Instagram? Not a lot of action on Instagram yet. Richard and Rich Management. Appreciate you tuning in. Make sure y'all leave that comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. You're just talking cats need to come together and form like Voltron. You need to bring your resources together. Like if you got a certain amount of artists, you know, like a good 20 artists or more, that every time y'all drop everybody within that 20 artist group drops a song or album and everybody shares it, likes, comments, and all that good stuff. I mean, everybody can get some kind of traction and boost some algorithms and get some extra momentum for what they're trying to do. And then, like with Facebook, if you got like 20 people and they all got 5,000 Facebook fans, and you take like one Facebook fan page, you know, for the week, because you can only invite 1,000 people a day. Up, here goes our guest. All right, there goes the camera. So we about to bring our guest all the way from the West Coast, and he's from Oregon. He's from Oregon. Drinks his coffee, smokes his reefer in the morning. Let's bring on the one and only Brenboy. What up,
What's
man?
poppin'? How you doing, brother?
Doing good. I don't drink coffee in the morning, but I definitely smoke my reefer in the morning.
Hey, there we go. You got one out of the two.
How's the weather out there?
It's a little cloudy today, but we've gotten lucky. Like Portland is gray like 3/4 of the year, and the past week it's been sunny. I've been sitting out on the back patio with my cat like every morning, just soaking up the sun. Today it's on the little gloomy side, but it's cool. It's cool. How about for you?
Yeah, I'm good. I seen you as a cat guy. I saw your videos with your cat.
Yeah, dude. I got the coolest cat. He's half Siamese, half American, short hair. And man, we're like two peas in a pod. He's my Velcro kitty. He follows me like everywhere. It's funny.
I'm more of a dog guy, but I like cats too. My sister had a cat named Leroy. He was pretty cool. I used to call him Bruce Leroy.
Leroy.
Yeah. So let's start here. You were born in Germany, raised in Oregon. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. I moved to the United States when I was a little kid, and I originally moved to uh, Louisiana, straight from
Okay.
Germany. And then I came up to Oregon when I was really little, like 3. And yeah, I grew up in Southern Oregon, like right on the border of Cali and Oregon. And then came up to Portland right after I turned 18. Like 2 weeks after I turned 18, I came to the city because it just had more opportunities in the music and entertainment and the things that I was trying to do. So yeah, that's where I'm at now is Portland.
Or were you old enough to remember Germany at all?
Not really. I remember my babysitter
Uh-huh.
was this big black woman with big old knockers, and she gave me fruit roll-ups, and she had a big white fluffy dog and cream colored couches. That's the only thing I can remember about Germany.
Yeah, because they say hip hop is really, really huge over in Germany, man.
Yeah, like the people over there, they think like, oh, he's from America. That's where hip hop is from, and it's like, well, it's really from the East Coast, I suppose. But yeah, same country. So yeah, it's kind of cool, like that they love American hip hop in these other countries.
So, do you remember the moment when you decided, "Hey, I want to do this music for real"? Because everybody starts out typically as a hobby, and then at some point you take it serious. Do you remember that moment?
I do remember that. I was doing a lot of slam poetry contests. I was winning poetry slams. I was on the Portland State team for slam poetry. And
Okay.
and I came from the country, like not like the Hollywood cowboy country. I'm talking like the backwoods. So
Yeah.
moving up to the city, they treated this poetry thing and storytelling on stage like a sport. So I have like college medals um that say first place, third place, second place. And so I would notice like I'm winning all these poetry slam poetry contests, and I knew I was like nice with the pen and everything, but I was a three-sport athlete in high school. So telling my
Okay.
coaches, I don't want to go play college ball. I think I'm going to move to Portland and write
Do
poetry.
poetry.
It was like, wait a second, you're the captain of the football team. What do you mean you write poetry?
And
And
like,
I
what?
like,
You sissy? You
yeah, yeah.
sissy? What are you doing?
I show my coach these books. I'm like, look, this is what I do in math class. This is what I do in, English class. And he's looking at me like this is like psychopathic type level of like writing. So I knew like I wanted to be a writer. I'm going to skip out on playing college ball and go write. And then when I came to Portland, I found slam poetry, and I was like, yeah, what is that? And then people showed me like it's basically like a rap battle, but with no beat. You're
Okay.
just, you know, storytelling to a crowd for 3 minutes. And then I'm like 19 years old with all these medals around my neck. And I was like, well, I can't just like go up to someone in the parking lot and be like, hey, you want to buy a poem? $100. So I went to school for music production, and I learned how to put the poems behind beats.
Yeah.
And then I was making mixtapes. I already had a couple mixtapes before I went to school for music. And then yeah, I just like realized like 2017, I was like, okay, I do think I have something here at that next level. It's not just like a kid in his room or in the basement just like having fun. I was like, I think I could do this at the professional level. I think I am to that point with my skill set. And then it was just from there, it was just
Mhm.
marketing and figuring out how to, you know, get my name out there, and figure out different avenues of like promotion and marketing. But yeah, that was when I realized I wanted to take it serious, was when I was getting all these accolades for my lyric writing abilities.
Now, Portland. Does Portland have a sound that you can identify and say, "Hey, that's the Portland hip hop sound"?
Everybody's been searching for that for years. It's like Portland is notorious for, it's like, yeah, you're from Portland, but why do you sound like a cat from the Bay Area? Or you're from Portland, but why are you rapping on Atlanta trap beats? Nobody's really figured out, like, I think that's why the Northwest has always been a question mark at the industry level. They've always seen it as like a D class market, is because we don't really have our own particular sound that defines us. But for me personally, that's why the song you were introducing me as, I'm from Oregon. I'm from Oregon. I drink my coffee, smoke my reefer in the morning.
Uh,
It's got like live instruments in it, but still hip hop beats, the classic like 808s, the Juno 106s. It still has those classic hip hop sounds, but with live instruments, because that
Mm.
is what has came out of the Northwest, is like bands and grunge, not necessarily a lot of hip hop. There has been a few, but not too many to make it like a whole scene. So for me personally, I define it as bridging the gap between hip hop fanatics demand to hear traditional technique and today's
Uh-huh.
electronic obsession with live instruments, always live instruments. That's what I have defined the Oregon sound to be. Being the I'm from Oregon rapper is is just like that. Always including live instruments though.
Yeah, I like your sound, man. You're a really good rapper. You really good beats. Who makes the beats?
I have a lot of producers that make the beats for me. I have one guy by the name of Smoke. He is a
Okay.
producer for a company called Marmoset, which is like a what's it called, sync licensing company. So what he does is he'll
Okay.
get an assignment for a sync deal, and he'll make 10 beats. And if one of them gets placed, then he has 9 other beats that he can sell for the low. So I pick up these other ones that he hasn't done anything with, and I'll just cash him out for it. I want to own the rights to it. Delete this from your catalog. It's mine now. And then I'll take the stems of that beat and I'll go hire session musicians to play instruments on top of it, or to take out the drums and add live drums. So I do that with a bunch of different producers. Um, or I bring the lyrics first to a production house or a studio, and I say, hey, here's the story I'm telling. Just here's the tempo. Give me a click track. Let me rap to it. And then instead of me flowing to a beat, I want you to produce a beat to my flow. It's very backwards than, how hip hop
Yeah.
was made, but that's the storyteller in me. Is I want the bars to stick out and the beat to flow to me. So yeah, I kind of do a little bit of everything, just depending on who I'm working with, really.
And I appreciate the fact that you saying you bring in the live bands, because I was talking the other day, like when I do music reviews, when you got a guy like some blues singer that's playing the hell out of the guitar and singing his ass off, it's almost impossible for a guy that just raps to get song of the day over that. So, but you're like trying to, doing this musicianship thing. You're bringing in people who play instruments. A lot of people don't understand, like, part of being a great producer is delegating to other people like they does. Like you have got Storch playing the keys or this guy playing this, but you still gotta have that great ear that brings it all together, man.
Facts. That's why I take the role, even though I have a background in music productions and sonic arts. I still take that executive role, like let me be the
Yeah.
executive producer on all this and let people. I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty, slide faders and twist knobs, but there's so many other producers out there that love making beats. So I let them develop the skeleton, and then I take over and have the vision of this is how I want the final product to sound. And I take that part serious, not just taking the beat and rolling with it, but I take it to a good mixing engineer. I outsource the mastering to an industry professional. And I just want the sonics to be, I don't want anyone to hear the song and say, oh, it could have been better if it was mastered better, or, oh, this is good, but the song's good, but the sonics aren't, B minus. I don't want anybody having anything to say about it other than I like it or I don't like it.
Yeah. And we get a lot of that when we do music reviews on Saturdays. It could be a dope song, but the quality of the recording is not, it's not up to par. So you got to kind of like take some points off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you.
Now, you got this album. You had White Butterflies. What was the inspiration behind that?
So the title of it was at the time, I was seeing a lot of white butterflies. My friend Justin had passed away, drug overdose, very common where I'm
Okay.
from, Southern Oregon.
Mhm.
And I kept seeing the number 222. Every time I'd think about him, it would be 222. Or I'd think about him and I'm passing exit 22. It just
Yeah.
it just kept happening, you know. His brother called me and said, "Hey, I just took over Justin's Mustang payments. I went to the bank to close out his accounts, and there was $222.22 left in his bank account." And I was
Damn.
like, "You see, that's what I'm telling you. Like something with this number, man." So I put the album out on 2-22-22. And at the same time, as I'm taking my morning coffee walks throughout North Portland, in my neighborhood, I would kept seeing white butterflies, and it was like everywhere, you know. So I kind of had that idea of like I'm like the white butterfly, you know. It's hard to tell a butterfly when it's in its caterpillar stage, and that's kind of how I felt at the time. Was like, man, I'm like these white butterflies, like they're everywhere, but you're just not noticing them because maybe they're not standing out in your eyes with the oranges and reds and blues and yellows. Um, but hey, we're everywhere. We're just as raw, just doing the same flapping of the wings. You just might not notice us. It didn't have to do with anything of like skin color or anything,
Uh-huh.
or being half white. Like that didn't have anything to do with that. It was just more of like that's what I was seeing, so that's what I called it.
What's the other half? You Hispanic?
Yeah, I'm half Mexican, half white. My
That's what
dad's
I
full,
thought. Yeah.
but you wouldn't know it. You know, I don't have like hella Mexican features or anything. I only get tan when the sun comes out, you know. But other than that, people just think, you know, some American guy with colored eyes and a beard, you know. And it's like, well, I was born in Germany, but I'm Mexican. My first name is Brendan. It's like the whitest name in the world, but my
Yeah.
last name Reyes, which is like the most
Yeah.
Mexican
Yeah.
there. So I'm literally like half and half. You feel me?
And you made a reference to enchiladas in one of your songs.
Oh yeah, my grandma be cooking. You know, my grandma be cooking. A lot of people in my family are really good cooks. I've been spoiled in that way. So yeah, I say my
I'm a
homie
big
Jorge.
empanada guy. You fuck with
Oh,
empanadas?
yes, there's an empanada food cart here in Portland. It's called the Imp and Nada,
Uh-huh.
and all they sell is empanadas. That's it, and it's fire.
Yeah, I be making these ones my sister put me on to with like chicken and that sofrito sauce.
Good decision, brother.
That shit is so damn good, man.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Yeah, I'm definitely a foodie. Portland has a lot of good food carts, restaurants. We're kind of on the map as far as like food tourist destinations. There's like you could go to a different homegrown restaurant or food cart every single day of the year and
Mhm.
never hit a spot twice.
So let's get into some of this radio. So you're working with radio. You're the like the let me make sure I got it right. You're the urban music director and hip hop coordinator for 90.7 FM KBOO in Portland. Is that correct?
That's right.
How did that opportunity come about?
So right after music school, I was supposed to, they encouraged us to get an internship somewhere. So I went up to Washougal, Washington, and one of my beat making teachers, he and rhythm training teachers, he had a studio in Washougal. So I interned there for a summer, and I would realize like whenever he would go fall asleep on the couch or be in the office doing something, we wouldn't have anything to do in the studio. So me and my buddies would just start making music, like our own music. And I was like, this internship thing is clever. This is some slick shit we're doing here. Like, we don't have to pay for studio time, but we're around all this outboard gear and good equipment.
Yeah.
So after the internship, I was like, where can I do this again? And so I found an internship at KBOO Radio as a mixing engineer for a show called the Monday Sampler. And my job was to mic up the drum kits, set up the
Okay.
bass players, guitar players, vocals. I'd have a big mixing board that I would, plug them into. And then we had real delays, reverb, compression. It wasn't digital we were using. It was all analog gear.
Yeah.
I would send that signal to the host. And we were all looking at each other through windows. You know how studios have those glass panels you can like see through, right?
Yeah.
So the artists are out there. I'm literally the middleman, and then the host is running the show. And after a while of this, I was like, I'm not no middleman. I either need to be out here as the artist or I need to be in there as the host.
Yeah.
I went to the station manager at the time, Mike Crenshaw. He's a rapper and activist, and he was running the station. And I went to his office, and I boldly slapped down a piece of paper, slid it across his desk. It was a program proposal of a show called Rip City Basement. And I had everything listed of how it was going to be different than any other show that's existed in Portland. And I said, hey, I know I'm just an intern. I know there's like a year-long wait just to apply to have my own radio show, but I don't want to wait that long. This is a very special program. It's going to be big, and I would love to do it here at KBOO, but if not, I understand. I'll take it to your competitors down the street at X-Ray. I already have a relationship with them. And this is a guy that's known for like, strong arming people in Chicago, big buff dude, right? Rapper, political activist. And he looked at me like, the balls on this guy, like, who does he think he is coming to? But I think he respected it.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm going to be out of town in 2 Saturdays. If you can pass all the classes, the FCC class, the production class, and the overall orientation, if you can take all those classes, get green checks on all of them, I'll let you substitute my show with yours, and I'll give you a pilot, and we'll see what happens. And the first episode had like 1,900 listeners, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And I had like a live studio audience. I had people performing live on air, live interviews. And so once he saw what it was, he was like, oh, okay, I get it. This kid's not playing around with it. So
Yeah.
he then was stepping out of the radio to do more political activism. And he said, okay, you can take this one every other month, the second Saturday of every other month. And then I was bringing in so many artists. He was like, oh, well, why don't you just do this once a month, the second Saturday of every month? And then they were wanting me to double up. Let's do this every other week. And I was like, I think once a month is all I can commit to, because I'm an artist myself and I'm booked in other places. So now I just do my production. My Rip City Basement radio show takes up a lot of room, live studio audience, like 8 to 10 artists per night. And I do that the second Saturday of every month. From there, they were seeing the urban music director at the time, Dina B. She had been there for 19 years. And she was trying to step out because she was playing more live gigs as a DJ. So she was looking for a replacement. And she told me over the phone, like, hey, I did not want to pick you. I wanted it to be another Black female DJ to take my place. But after following you, Brenboy, on Facebook, reading your blogs and seeing that you're half Mexican, born in Germany, you're standing in immigration lines, dealing with police break-ins to your apartment, blah, blah, blah. She said, I think that you understand everybody's struggles, and you can do things and get into doors that they can't get into. So she passed the baton to me. She didn't even ask me if I wanted it. She just started sending me her emails and logins and databases. And she's like, this is our new urban music director and hip hop coordinator. And boom, I just took off with it and started making powerful moves. I was 26. the youngest director, music director at the station. And I just had a vision. And, there's some people that were mad. They're like, wait, this guy is Ervin? What do you mean? And yeah, she had my back and was like, hey, you got to check his player folder before you make a judgment call. So yeah, they just saw that I was bringing in so many black and brown artists every show that it was kind of like, well, this is the guy that can actually move the needle in Portland and actually get things done for the community. And she was right. I've done a lot for my community in the music space.
Yeah, they're probably trying to hit you with that guest in hip hop thing that, they give like white dudes like me. But like when they say that, I just like give them 2 words: Rick Rubin.
Hey, I like that
Rick
answer, bro.
Rubin. That's all I gotta say about guest in hip hop.
Yeah, I've always thought that. Like, I understand from their perspective, but I also understand you should never judge a book by its color. And when you make an assumption, you will be an ass and the ump will shun you or something like that. So it was really like, for me, I can stand boldly and be like, this is who I am. And if you got something to say about it, it's probably because you actually don't know who I am as a person.
I actually like how you said it more, because I always be thinking about that, judge a book by the cover. Sometimes you could judge the book by the cover, but like you said, color. So that's a whole different thing. If I see some kid sagging pants and shit like that, I already know you. I already know where your mindset's at.
And
But like you said, the color thing is different. You said something earlier that was interesting. You said standing in the immigration lines. What was that about?
So even though I am an American citizen, I don't even know if I should say this in today's political climate, man. I might get booted out of the country, Paul. But I don't have.
Well, I don't say it then.
I don't have an American birth certificate. I was born in Germany, Heidelberg, Germany, but I have an American proof of birth abroad. So it still makes me a citizen. But I have a story that I'll tell you real quick of my first time standing in immigration. Was I was working at Wells Fargo, and one day we had an early morning meeting at like 8 a.m. and then I didn't have to work till 10. So I came home to my apartment and I took a nap. I changed back into my pajama pants, jumped in bed, shirt. Just I'm gonna take a little cat nap, a little disco nap before I gotta go work. Next thing you know, I have 3 cops drag me out of bed, push my face to the carpet. I had like marks on my face from how like a rug burn, and there was 3 guns to my head. And they said, Mr. Reyes. And I was like, yeah? They're like, Mr. Reyes. Yeah. And then they said, Andrew Reyes. And I said, no, I'm Brendan Reyes. And they said, oh, we got the wrong beaner. And they said, let me see your ID. I showed them my ID.
Is that what they said? That's the exact word they said?
Yeah.
We got the wrong beaner?
Yeah, we got the same last name, but different people. And apparently there was a guy they were looking for that had like abused a chick. And they were like, he was like a big buff dude. And he was also, I was in the military as well, infantry. So he was also, coincidentally, he was also an infantry army dude. So in their head, they were coming in with guns, right? Like, this guy's going to give us some problems. And I'm like, dude, I'm peace and love.
Yeah.
So yeah, they just got the names wrong, but they broke into my apartment with like a screwdriver. They like busted the lock, which they never paid for or fixed. And when I gave them my ID, they took my ID.
Yeah.
I figured they probably did that because it's like, if he doesn't have an ID, he can't go tell the news or anything, So they took my ID. And back then I'm from Oregon, so it's no secret that we're known for Dutch Bros and cannabis are the two big things my hometown, Grants Pass, is known for. So I had work, we'll just say that. I had work that I was trimming up
Yeah.
in some garbage bags,
Yeah.
and they questioned me about that as well. And I was like, it's not mine. I don't know what that is. And so they kind of had me like, what's he gonna do? You know? So they jacked my work,
Yeah.
they took my ID, and I was like, man, I got to go back get a license. So I go try to get it at the DMV. They had a problem with my papers, not having an American birth certificate. I was like, wait, I'm a veteran in the U.S. Army and I'm an American citizen. So I had to
Were
go
you
to
born on a military base?
No, I was born in a German hospital.
Oh, okay.
So I had to go to the American Embassy in Seattle. I took a bus up there, slept in a hostel. I woke up at 6 a.m. because I knew the lines are going to be crazy in immigration. So, boom, I'm up there in Seattle. I go stand in line, get to the front of the line. They tell me I got to pay. They're like, oh, it's going to take, a while to get it. And I was like, almost in tears, like, why don't you guys believe me? I'm American. And they're like, okay, so you say you're American. I'm like, yeah. They're like, what's your ethnicity though? It says Mexican or Latino, Hispanic. I'm like, yeah, I'm half Mexican. They're like, but you were born in Germany, but your last name is Reyes. I just sound like a liar on every first date.
No,
So,
you know what's crazy? My DJ was German and Mexican.
oh, okay. Good to know that there's two of us.
Yeah, he was German and Mexican. His dad was German and his mom was Mexican.
Got you. Yeah, it's not as rare as people think. There's a lot of people that look like me that are half and half, but you wouldn't know. And then people that are, from other places. Even Kobe Bryant wasn't from America, but he got his fame, in America.
My sister was born in Panama, and she wasn't even born on the American military base. She was born on the Panamanian military base.
Oh, wow.
So, that it's crazy that they would do you like that. Yo, so I mean, you in Portland, man. What is it about Portland? I mean, Portland's always on the news, man, for like protests and all types of stuff. What is it about Portland that's just different?
There's a lot of things about Portland that is different from the rest of the states. But with reference to what you're talking about with the protests, I think there's just a lot of people that maybe they don't have other important things going on, or maybe they just feel connected to go out there and march and protest because it's their
Mm-hmm.
constitutional right. But then when it starts snowing, they disappear. Or if the sun comes out, now they're at the park. So yeah, it's always been like that. I remember like back when what was it? Remember in like 08 when the banks did something, it was Occupy
Okay.
Wall Street, Occupy Portland. Like Portland made the news back then for like taking up city blocks and stuff. And then of course the George Floyd protests, was huge here. We were made national news. The No Kings protests recently, that's still going on. So yeah, Portland's always been on the map for making some noise. But yeah, I think there's just a lot of people that are really into social injustice. And when I say really into it, I don't mean like they like it. I just mean like it doesn't matter if you hate something or like something. If you think about and talk about and think about and talk about and think about and talk about any topic, you get more of that topic. If someone types into YouTube, I hate Donald Trump videos, and then the next morning they wake up and they see a video, why is Donald Trump on my TV? I hate him. Well, yeah, because you typed it in, that's how your brain works too. So a lot of people are, numbers wise, they think about and talk about and think about and talk about and think about and talk about social injustices. what are they going to get more of in their life?
Yeah, social injustices.
Yeah. So although I'm not, this way or that way, like I said, I'm from a different country, man. I don't even relate to what's necessarily going on. I just, I think about, I research like fifth dimensional stuff and aliens and just all sorts of weird stuff, ancient Egypt. And so I'm not
So you
necessarily too,
into like the Anunnaki and stuff like that?
oh yeah, I'm up on the Anunnaki research for sure.
Yeah. I definitely love Egypt. Egypt is just a really interesting culture, man. It really is.
Yeah, I don't know. I just always figured like getting involved in the town politics of one city, of one state, of one country, of one planet, in the grander scheme of things, that's really small.
Yeah.
So that's just
Um,
me, though. I don't take away from anybody who's marching out there or they think they're making a change, or maybe they have a real pretty sign and a politician is going to drive by and say, "Oh, meat is murder. Well, I got to change the laws today." Like maybe that will happen. I don't know. Who am I to say? I'm just some rapper radio guy. So,
my opinion, I own a business. I also own a percentage of a liquor brand based out of California. I got my podcasts. I just think if you're a capitalist, it's probably best not to play politics. I think once you play politics as a capitalist and you take a stance verbally on any of your platforms, all you're really doing is saying fuck half of your customers. I think Michael Jordan had a great saying, and he's a guy that brand is out from your way, right? Portland, Oregon, Nike.
yeah, that's right. It's Portland.
So I think he had one of the greatest sayings is that Republicans buy sneakers too. And when you think about when he said that, the only reason he would have, and this was back in the days when he said that, the only reason you would feel the need to say Republicans buy sneakers too is that you were feeling pressure from a political party to speak out on things that you probably didn't really want to speak out on because it was going to alienate half of your consumer fan base.
Mm.
And everybody's not really in the business of, like you said, making like social injustice statements. Everybody's not built to be the hero and things of that nature. It's not. And I just think as a capitalist, man, you got customers on both sides of the aisle. It's probably best you don't even speak on those things so you don't piss nobody off. Because now we're at a moment now. I got family in Seattle, which is similar to Portland people.
Yeah.
And some of my family I've got into it with because it's like all day my grandma just wakes up every day and just hates on Trump. I was like, yo, you ain't even met this guy. Like, you ain't got nothing better to do than wake up every day and hate on this guy that you never even met. Like, I got better things to do than just hate on somebody every single day, man. There's a lot more in life than that, man. And it's like, gosh, y'all, like, give it a break sometimes, man.
Yeah, I mean the power of words, and like what you think about and talk about, it's so real. They say words are spells. So I'm very particular on what I call myself. I don't have like I am a this or I am a that. You know, I don't necessarily, minus like the music side. When I'm storytelling or playing a character behind a microphone. But in this type of life here, I don't necessarily identify with these words that people say just because to me they're just words. It's the intention behind the words that actually
Yeah,
matters.
matter.
And
Yeah.
I've always just thought like these two, it's like WWE, these two sides are putting on a show for you to keep your mind occupied so they can go get more money and make moves behind your back. I've always just thought that even before I was in the military. I just thought like this doesn't, something doesn't seem real to me. It just seems all like a show. That's just what I thought. But yeah, you're right. Like it's hard to like even voice some opinions about things you really don't know about. So that's why I kind of stay away. I'm being a little vague with you here about, the political stuff, but this is just also like what I see in Portland. I'm just a reporter saying what I see. But I don't necessarily take a hard stance on these things publicly or even in my private life. I don't have a lot of conversations. I think you and I have talked a little bit about some politics stuff over the phone, but I always just learn from people's perspectives because I'm not a politician. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put out a podcast and be like, okay, so this is what happened and this is what I heard and this is what it is. Dude, I don't freaking know.
Well, the internet is really just a bunch of people talking about a bunch of people when you think about it. And like that's why on my podcast, like most people, they're looking for viral moments. What's the best way to get viral moments? Shocking content, controversial content. But what it's not authentic because you're chasing something that it's cool, it's a moment, a viral moment, but I'd rather build, a fan base that sustains over a long time than just get a viral moment that's going to get you a bunch of views, likes, comments, you know. And you know how the internet is. Half the comments are going to be hate, the other half are going to be, supporters. But I just try to just go with as much positive stuff as I can, man, and try to let it all be organic. I'm into, interviewing people that people I respect. If I don't like, that's the thing. If I hit you up for an interview, I respect something about you. And if I'm not hitting you up for interviews, probably something I don't respect.
Well, respect is mutual, brother. I've always admired what you do for musicians and the promo world and the media side. Like, I've always thought you were a powerful player. So yeah.
Well, you too, dude, because you over there. I've never done FM radio. I've just did like online digital radio. We had the Unheard Radio. I had Indie Castle, Urban Obsessions Radio podcast when it was just like Podomatic days. But FM radio has always been powerful in the music industry. A lot of people still they kind of overlook radio. They don't know that radio actually pays out more in the long run because you can get paid shows easier from radio. You could chart easier from radio, and they actually do pay out more on the royalty side than Spotify, which is paying out crumbs.
You're right. You're right. And for so long, people started shying away from radio, saying, oh, the only thing that's important are these DSPs, the streaming platforms. And I think now it's starting to come back a little bit in the conversation of how important radio is, especially local radio, because curators like myself, the only person that's going to tell me what I can and can't play on my radio show is the music director.
Yeah.
You're looking at them. So, I can take submissions from all artists in my space and I can play them, which I do that often. And it's cool, they get to actually be on an FM radio, tune in live while they're driving in their car or hit the stream link and they're live on the radio in Portland, Oregon. It's pretty cool. But, I think it's coming back being like regional tastemakers because it got so not saturated, but it got so particular of what the media companies are paying their stations to play, even though they say it's not payola. But the way it works is they would put out a song and they would pay for an ad. So let me just give an example. Let's say Atlantic Records pays $250,000 to a media company because you can't pay a DJ directly. That's payola.
Yeah.
Let's say they pay a media company that owns 250 stations. They pay the media company and they say, I want this commercial to air. You can pay for commercials. And the commercial is, yo, what up, everybody? It's Rowdy Rich. My new single, my new album, Please Forgive Me for Being Antisocial. It's out everywhere like air with my new single, The Box. And it gives a little clip of The Box. And then what do you think the song after that commercial runs? What song do you think the DJ is going to
That
play?
song that they're promoting, that they're advertising.
So you're not paying for the song play, you're paying for the commercial.
But I've always said that with artists. That's the thing what artists never realize. They always go to the station, man. I mean, same thing with Fayetteville down here. We had a program director, Mike Tech, and cats used to hate him, but like, oh, he's not playing us enough, and not knowing that the program director has a lot to, say about it. And it's like I've always said, like, if you actually advertise with them, then they'll probably be more likely to play your song a lot more. Because artists don't understand that radio stations are nothing but advertiser platforms within itself. Like they
Yeah,
think a radio station's job is to break artists and music, and they think that's a DJ's job, and it's not. It's really not. That's why they play mainstream popular music. I mean, I'm sorry, just popular music brings listeners. And that's the thing with unsigned artists. They don't understand when you get radio play on this station. Yeah, we could play you here, we could play you there, but how much can we really play you if you're not bringing listeners? Because
you
it's the
got it.
artist's job to bring listeners to the radio station. It's not they think the program director or the DJ is supposed to bring the listeners or the station itself. No, because if me and you just create a new station, really what's going to determine how many people listen is how far our range goes, how many
Right.
miles it goes out. Because I know a guy that had a local Spanish station here, and it only had a certain mile radius, but there was no other Spanish stations here. So he was able to get advertisement from Spanish businesses. He was able to pick up all that Spanish, listener base here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, because there was no other one. And all he had to do was just be in Fayetteville, North Carolina, which has about 200,000 people, and he'd probably get some thousands of listeners.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, Paul. It's like if McDonald's has a commercial, they're paying big money on those big things. So do they want a local artist being played after their commercial? They want the Drakes, the Justin Biebers, the Ariana Grandes. They want more people to hear that. Otherwise, they're going to stop spending money. So the stations start to think, and that's the whole game. It's a commercial radio station.
Yeah.
When you are work for an independent station like me, and there's three different levels to the radio. Oh, let me just say this. There's three different levels to the music. There's
Mhm.
the music, which you get ridiculously mother effing good at. You love it. Then there's the music business. You figure out
Yeah.
how to put $1 in and get $2 out. Then there's the music industry, which you got to take that model that you have, find someone who already has their foot in the door and help them help you type of thing, build that relationship. Same thing with radio. There's the college and community radio stations like
Yeah.
the NACC charts. Then there's the higher colleges, which are the DRT charts. Think about like Portland State University has a radio station, but Notre Dame's radio station, Notre Dame is such a big college that they have their own zip code.
Oh
Their
shit.
radio station is on a higher tier than Portland State University's radio station. You feel me?
Yeah.
So they're on the DRT charts. Then there's the ones that everyone's heard about, the Billboard charting stations. Those are the big dogs.
Yeah.
So DJs who are reporting to the NACC charts, they're helping local people, new artists, they're breaking new stuff in the college scene. If you do so good on those charts, the people at the DRT stations, they're looking at those Tuesday reports saying,
Yeah.
who I want to, us radio DJs, we always want to be the one to say, I broke that artist. I was the first
Yeah.
one to play that song on radio. So they're looking who's coming up so they can play it on their show. And then the DRT charts come out and the Billboard charting DJs are looking like, what just made it on DRT? Because if it's about to be hot, I want to know about it.
Yeah.
So that's only if the DJs have a say in what they're going to play, which like at my radio show, I have a say on every song that gets played. But yeah, that's, there's different levels to it. And yeah, just navigating like what level are you currently on, what level are you trying to get to, and then the yoga is how do I get there.
I've always felt for unsigned artists and just like independent artists that college radio and just FM radio mix show campaigns always been their best bet because like you said, a prime time they're not playing you unsigned, man, you're not getting a lot of prime time. And like you said, unless you advertise it heavy and they're just playing the song after every ad, you know. But you said they were doing that for a major artist. So the likelihood of them doing for an unsigned artist is probably not the same, but a lot of them bypass college radio. It's like they don't even know it's there.
A lot of them do, but then again, like the ASAP Rock, the Atmospheres, I've got submissions from Suicide Boys. You know, I still have a demo tape from Suicide Boys that's like, I got this before it came out. You know, they still mail CDs and demos to the stations with the one sheet. And so that's still a thing for people like that at the underground level. You know, Atmosphere is pretty big, but they're not being played like the major stations and everything. So people like that, their labels like Rhymesayers, they're hip to it. They know, let me break this at the college level because that's where the numbers are going to live when you have a core fan base that is obsessed with what you're doing versus going straight to the majors. You might just have a song that's hit, and then after that 12-week campaign is done, they forget about you. They move on to another artist, you know. But if you break it through the college ranks, that's where you get these fanatics and not fans. And those fanatics will love you for the lifetime duration of your career because they remember, man, I was at a college party. I was studying from homework when I heard this on my local college station, and I loved the song. Why do you think Andre Nicotina is so big? People know, oh man, back in the day when I was chopping up game and doing Linas with my homies, like I would listen to Ayo for Yayo. And now they'll go to his show and buy $50 tickets easy because they remember that where they were when they first heard those songs.
Have you ever heard of Rap Attack Lives?
I don't think so. What is that?
So Rap Attack Lives is a company that was started by DJ Nasty Nez. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's out of Seattle.
The Rap Attack DJs Coalition?
Yeah.
I'm a part of the Rap Attack DJs. Shout out to Nasty Nez.
Okay. Yeah, rest in peace to Nasty Nez. He's actually passed a while back. But, you know, like, they started college radio mix show campaigns. They like literally invented this shit with Sir Mix-a-Lot back in the days.
That's right. Nasty Mix Records.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know that, and I've actually interviewed a lot of college radio guys. My guy Barry Benson used to do college radio out in California. I don't know if you're familiar with Yahoo Front. They're from North Carolina, but they started out in radio back in the days with college radio and like NC State or something like that.
That's tight. Yeah, there's a lot of things that, you know.
So we just hit the hour. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot of things.
So we just hit the hour mark. I'll try to go. Okay, so what's new with you, man? You got any new music coming out that we need to know about?
I do. I have a lot of music coming out this year. I just launched a record label, RCB Records. It stands for Rip City Basement, which is the name of my company and my podcast and radio show. But yeah, I just launched it a couple weeks ago. I already have 5 artists signed, and it's really a distribution label. So I plan on having 25 artists by the end of the first quarter and just giving people major distribution through Virgin Music Group instead of going through like TuneCore or CD Baby or DistroKid. This is the majors versus that. So I've been signed to a major since 2021. just for distribution. It's not like they pay for my
Okay.
features or promo, but now I'm offering that to artists. So under my label, I'm distributing a lot of music this year. Me personally, as Brenboy, I have a 10-track project that's going to be coming out with a producer by the name of Ugo, and he's from Southern Oregon, where I'm from. And we're going to make these 10 tracks very particular to our region. We're not trying to make it to hit every market. It's like, I'm calling it G Pass Volume 1 to particularly hit people in Southern Oregon, in Grants Pass, and for people to hear these Oregon references and Southern Oregon talk. So we have something that's like, yo, this is our music. This is our guy, Anytime people move to the region, they say, is there anyone rapping from down here? Oh, yeah, you got to hear this album right here. So it'll be 5 tracks, me solo, and then 5 tracks with features on it. And all the features are from Southern Oregon, -1. I got a track with Ritz. He's the only one that's not from Southern Oregon that's on the project. But yeah, that one I'm really excited about. Ugo made all the beats and engineered the tracks. And that's going to be my pride and joy for this year. But I also have a collaboration EP with the guy named Swami. And that's more like every track is B-side tracks. Just real, like, it's like, you really want to get to know Brenboy? Go listen to the Kami Vibes projects. This one is Kami Vibes 3. It's our 3rd one. And just very vulnerable, almost spoken word style, bar for bar rapping. And yeah, I'm excited about that. But I have 23 verses that I have written that I'm trying to find beats for. That's not including those songs I just mentioned. So yeah, I'm in go mode right now. I've been writing like a beast recently. So I plan on releasing as much music as I can. No time to waste. I'm just going to be dropping on my own label, RCB Records.
You said Ritz. Is that the Ritz from Strange Music?
Yeah, he was with Strange Music. I don't think he's with the label anymore. I think he's like fully independent now, even though Strange is an independent label. But yeah, I think I don't think he's with Strange anymore. I don't know him personally like that. We're not like buddies or anything, but I think that's his situation. I know he's on tour and he has a core fan base of people who love his music. So I think I don't think he's with them anymore, but yeah, it's the same guy you're talking about, the chopper.
So you do a lot of interviews too. Like, do you mainly just interview unsigned artists?
I would say for the most part, yeah, but I've had some big interviews. I interviewed Snow the Product. Are you familiar with her music?
Yeah. She's nice.
Yeah, so I opened up for her at the Wonder Ballroom, and the day before the show, I had her on my radio show to do like a last minute ticket push. People that were listening to the interview, letting them know about the show. So that was a cool convo. Who else major have I interviewed?
Is she Mexican and white too?
She's full Mexican.
Okay.
From Texas. She's a little short chick with attitude.
Okay.
She's
been around for a hot minute now.
Yeah, she's nice. Yeah, I've interviewed some other people. Let me think. I Love McConan, club going up on a Tuesday. He's got that song with Drake. I've interviewed him 3 times. He's a buddy of mine up here in Portland. We go to the same studio. And every time I see him, it's all love. I actually really connect with that guy. He's like a really kind-hearted person, and he puts on for Oregon now. He lives in Portland, so he loves Oregon culture. He just came here and was like, he's from Atlanta, so coming out here, he's like, man, he just fits right in with everybody here. And I've interviewed him 3 times, and we'll probably do another one this year. There's been some other people. I'm drawing a blank right now. I've
Do
played
you
a bunch.
still fuck with old boy at all, King Flo that you had out there? I remember you said the show didn't go too well.
Yeah, I had him out here to DJ because he wanted to come to Portland to DJ, and it didn't go bad. He was a great DJ. I just remembered
Okay.
he just was, right when the time was to end, he ended it out the door. It was just about it, and I can't
About his business, and that's it.
can't hate on someone for that. I think for me at the time, I was more like, if people are still dancing,
Mm,
I'm gonna keep it going. I'm not here
yeah.
like, I'm not getting paid, so I'm not gonna play. I'm more like, hey, people are loving what I'm doing. I'm on the mic. I'm getting exposure. People are following me. I'm like, just keep the party going, baby. But I do know, I don't put nothing against them. Like, I do know a lot of DJs are like that. It's like, if it's
Yeah.
time,
Okay.
I'm out of here. So it's just a mindset thing, but it didn't go bad. He played really good. He was a great mixing DJ. His transitions were
How did
fire.
you link up with him? Because we just interviewed him like right before that, I think.
Yeah, I think so. It's crazy, Paul. Like, you and I, our world, there's so much crossover with the people that we know.
Yeah.
It's a smaller circle than a lot of people think, right?
Yeah.
But
You
there's
never
a
thought about getting a beat from him? Or is he probably not your he probably ain't your style though, I'm thinking.
I don't know. He's got a boom bap style. He's a good producer. I'm
Yeah.
so blessed. If I showed you my DMs, Paul, of how many producers are sending me beats, it would make you want to throw up. It's just like,
Yeah.
I'm blessed to be in a city where, and just have that. I guess like my Instagram page attracts producers to send me beats. So I have the pick of everything I want. And so it's kind of hard for me just to buy beats from people, especially when I'm taking the skeletons of people's beats and then I'm recreating on top of it a lot of the times. Or if I have an idea of a beat or a beat that I've heard and I want to recreate it in my own style, I could just pay someone $100 and say, hey, recreate this beat. And I don't want it to be exactly like theirs, but here's my flow. Here's the inspiration. Boom. Now I own 100% of the rights to a beat. Like, it's just too easy for me. So that's why I'm not really shopping for beats from producers necessarily. But if any producer sends me a beat, if King Flow sent me a beat and I was like, yo, this is fire, I need it now, what's your Cash App? I'll
Yeah.
take that. But yeah, it's just one of those things when it hits you, like, okay, I need this beat right now. I don't want to waste no time. Let me get it. But yeah, I'm just not really struggling to like find beats and stuff. That's why I don't really do outreach to like search for them or anything. I kind of have a lot already.
I got another question though. So when you playing artists on the radio, now do you play artists outside of like Oregon?
Absolutely.
So what's like how do you decide who you gonna give radio play to and who you're not? Do you gotta really like the song specifically yourself?
It all depends. A lot of times, yeah, I do listen to all submissions, but this radio game is a relationships game. The music industry is a scratch my back, I scratch yours
Yeah.
type of situation. So let's say I have like my mentor, Tiffany. When she sends me some music, I put out a thing saying, hey, um, I got a radio show, submit your music for consideration. If she goes to her people and she puts out the word, hey, my artist Brenboy has got a radio show in Portland where he's looking for submissions. If she brings me Rock Nation artists and Stevie Stone and this other chick that's blowing up in the R&B world, if Tiffany submits it to me, I'm playing every single one of those songs because I
Mhm.
know that it means something for her clients. I know that she's doing a campaign for them, and the more attention that they can get on their song, the more her client will be happy with her. which means she'll look at me like, yeah, Bren is a powerful player in the Northwest. So then she goes and tells other people she's connected with, oh, you're doing a radio campaign? Yeah, I got a guy in the Northwest that'll do it. See, that's relationships.
Yeah.
So when it comes from a source, I might not even need to listen to the song. I still listen to it to make sure it's like where to play it in the mix. But
Yeah.
if it's a submission from something like that, I'm playing every single one. If it's a local guy that is trying to get on the radar, trying to get on my radar, I tell them, hey, thanks for the submission. I don't take submissions in the DMs. We have an app, the Rip City Basement app.
Mm-hmm.
Download it, submit it, I'll play it. But if you're not investing in me, which it's free to download the app, just download it so I can stay connected. But if they're like, I'm not going to do it, it takes time and storage on my phone. Oh, okay. So I play the people that are rocking with me. And some people might not think that's fair. They might say, you only play your friends, or you only play the people that you know or that you're working with, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I mean, why would I play your song? I don't know you. You've never said anything to me except, yo, what's up? I want to get played on the radio. Here's my song. Play it now. I take requests, but not demands. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing. Everybody doesn't take email submissions. So all you're doing is saying, hey, you can't submit the email. You got to submit here. It's very simple terms, really. Yeah. You want to submit here, download this app, submit here. And it's like, if you're a guy like in North Carolina or something, like over here on the East Coast, you're not getting no radio play in Portland. So what does it hurt you to download this and have a spot where you could probably get multiple songs played in a whole nother state, in a whole nother city, man? Artists are lazy, dude. They want everything handed to them on a silver freaking platter, man.
Well, you've dealt with so many artists, Paul.
Too many, dude.
You've ran campaigns for so many people that you've dealt with so many personalities. You kind of know the type of when you talk to an artist, I bet like, oh, you're that kind of artist. I've dealt with you like 6 times before, just a different name,
I typically know what kind of artists I'm dealing with when you ask them, when they call and ask you about services and you ask them, how much money are you looking to spend or what's your budget? They don't understand. Like, I can't give you options if I don't know how much money you got to actually spend on something. And I always tell them, there's 2 kind of budgets, what you can afford and what you're willing to spend. I would recommend going off of what you can afford. And if you can only afford $50, $60, okay, we can run a little YouTube campaign and get you, advertise your YouTube video. Even though I prefer them to do, like you said, advertise a commercial. I think that's another thing. Artists, like, I don't know, man. They advertise some of the wrong things a lot of times too. Everybody comes to me about YouTube ads. They always want to advertise a music video, but it's like, when do y'all like watching 3 or 4 minute ads?
Right.
You don't like watching a 3 or 4 minute ad. You when you watch TV, you complaining about the ads are too long. So you giving me a 3 or 4 minute ad, it's too long. We gotta have that 30 seconds, 15 seconds.
I respect everything you're doing, and I love your campaigns, Paul. I'm gonna keep rocking with you, and we've been knowing each other for years. So I'm not somebody that likes to waste my time or money. So for those of you guys watching, if you have any questions about, is Paul a real player? He is the real deal. His campaigns are effective. I use them for myself. I use them for my artists. And here's the thing. Yeah, I went to school for music production, but I have other people making my beats. Yeah, I went to Berkeley for music marketing, but my title isn't music marketing genius. Guys, this is what Paul does. He's the guy. He knows how to do this. And there's a bunch of players in the game that know how to do effective marketing. So when I take Paul's advice and I hear what he's suggesting, I don't think that I know better. I'm the artist.
Yeah.
We need to have a collaboration and friends who can actually make things happen. and I'm right now I'm talking to your audience, Paul. Guys, sometimes it's better to have, instead of having a car filled with people that won't pop out and do anything for you, sometimes you just need one shooter who will actually squeeze for you. That's Paul. You want some
Appreciate it.
campaigns? If you're looking for some good advice, he's been around the game for years. He knows what's effective and what's not. And he's going to give it to you straight. So you need people like Paul in your corner. You cannot do this on your own. There is no, man, I do this all. It's all me. I make the beats. I make the song. I do this. I promote my own. I don't need nobody. All me, all day, same block. It's like, yeah, you're probably still not doing very good if you don't have anyone helping you. So yeah, shout out to you, Paul, because I know you've given me some good advice and you're gamed up like a PlayStation 10 with some next level knowledge of what to do with the music. Could be great, but what do I do with it when it's
Yeah.
done? I can't do everything. So yeah,
I've always
respect.
said you could sound like the second coming of Nas, man. I mean, if nobody knows, they're never gonna know. Like, and a lot of money goes into this, man. I mean, you hear so many people saying they spent 250,000, 300. They don't understand how much money really goes into a real FM radio campaign. They don't understand you gotta get a really good publicist, not one of these people that call themselves PRs. Like, I never call myself a PR person, like, because I know I'm not no publicist, but you got a lot of these fake PR people on the internet. You need a real publicist. You need to probably pay influencers. That's why they called influencers, because they have influence. And playlisters, like, that's the thing, man. Like, streaming, the problem with streaming, I've always said, and I think Jimmy Iovine touched on this. He said streaming is like a minute away from being irrelevant.
Mm.
All they got to do is implement two features. The first platform that implements these two features takes over the game, and that's direct messaging and comments, man. That's all they got to do. Add a
And
comment feature so people can comment on the songs, and you go reply to the comments, and those shits will get crazy engagement. And you can't direct message nobody. You can't. Like, what are we doing here? I remember when we first used to have to try to find playlisters. You would literally have to look at their profile picture and their name and go to Facebook to try to find them. This is
how
before
is
people were throwing emails on there.
how is SoundCloud doing now? Because I know you can comment on the song and you can DM them. Are they relevant in the marketing world right now?
I think if you advertise it right, I think if you advertise anything right, it could be relevant. You know, I would prefer SoundCloud over Spotify because, like you said, you can comment, you can reply to comments, and most engagement really comes from the comment nowadays. And that's the thing. Like, you're an unsigned artist, you drop a song, people be like, well, why everybody ain't commenting? Well, there's nothing to really talk about. Nobody knows who you are. There's no discussion created around this. That's why if I get on Facebook and I be like, yo, like, what's your favorite Mobb Deep album? I'll get crazy comments because it's a discussion, but you got to create a discussion around your music. Just dropping the music doesn't create a discussion. It doesn't create engagement. I prefer YouTube more than anything right now.
Mm.
Because YouTube, like, so you can monetize so many different ways. You can monetize your shorts, you can monetize your long content. Then once you get monetized, they allow you to add the merch store, so you can sell more merchandise when you get monetized. You're monetized two different ways. Then you got more control on your content. You can upload it and delete it anytime you want to. I just think like YouTube subscribers, when you get them, they have just so much more value than Instagram and other platforms. So like Instagram, like I started out with targeted Twitter followers back in the days. And basically with targeted Twitter followers, you would have to follow people and hopes to them follow you back. But I first started out with a thing called Tweet Big. And
Mm.
TweetBig was a software that basically you could take a keyword like hip hop or whatever, and we'll find people that were interested in hip hop, but they would have like a 70 to 80% chance or more of following you back. So it would be damn near follow for follow on every follow. Because typically, you start a new account, you got 0 followers. The quickest way to get followers is start following people, and they'll follow you. A portion of them will follow you back. But with YouTube, there's none of that follow for follow shit. So when you get subscribers, you just get subscribers, so that they're more valuable. And then TikTok, now that you got the US buying out TikTok, their algorithms have changed. So the algorithms aren't as effective in the US market. That's why you gotta go to influencers, Instagram influencers, TikTok influencers, YouTube influencers, Facebook influencers as much as possible, in my opinion.
Got you.
I mean, you
So
got the right influencer that posts your joint, like Leangelo Ball. I don't know if you remember when Leangelo Ball went viral. He had one influencer post a video of him playing a song, and this shit went viral.
hmm,
Because that one influencer might have influence over bigger influencers. Dealing with TikTok influencers, one thing TikTok got right is they had these things called hype houses, where all of the big TikTok influencers could go to these mansions and stay at these mansions and hang out with each other and get to know each other. And that's why they were all doing content with each other and stuff like that.
I've heard about that.
I remember paying a TikTok influencer, this guy we used to pay for, he was a dancer, TikTok influencer. I remember paying him for a TikTok, and then a month later watching a video of the biggest TikTok influencer and some other guy buying this dude a damn Tesla, man. I'm like, yo, this it's a whole different ballpark with this, and bringing these influencers together and building these relationships with them, which
Yeah.
a lot of other platforms didn't do. Because you remember TikTok and Triller both kind of was like popping at the same time. I remember my man saying, yo, TikTok and Triller, that's the next big thing. Talking about, he said, we gotta learn, we gotta figure this thing out. And when he said we, he don't really mean we, he really means me. So I kind of went to it at first and was like, nah, that's some kiddie stuff. Then I posted a video and it got 70,000 views in an hour. And I was like, holy shit,
Yeah.
this is something different. This is something different right here.
Triller was doing its thing for a while. I don't really see as many Triller videos anymore, but
No.
and Musically, you remember Musically?
Yeah.
That was like
Yeah.
that was popping too. But yeah, TikTok really dominated. And I don't know about this new. Have you heard about the new like terms of services that's like kind of going crazy right now? Like if you put out content, I think the new terms of agreement is like they can reuse it or like they own. I don't know. I haven't really dug into it,
A
but I
lot of
heard.
that going on in a lot of places. Even the streaming platforms are doing that. They got these, they do these package bundle deals where people could pay for these certain subscriptions and they can reuse your music. I mean, AI is probably reusing everybody's music. I think, man, we're at a point now. If you value your music more than than the music on streaming platforms, then you need to get it off the streaming platforms, like a Curtis King or something. These DIY guys, Curtis King it, throw it on. I seen you got it on Bandcamp. My guy just sold like almost over $500,000. I mean $500 worth of his album in like less than a week. I like Bandcamp as an option, more exclusivity, bringing the value back. I come from a time where if we sold 1,000 singles, that's like $3,000 gross minimal. $3 a single, $3,000. Now you're telling me it's worth $4? We went from 3,000 to $4.
It's crazy, right? Well, I agree with you though on the direct sales. I helped launch a company called Inadot, and we help people make their own websites. So I have brenboy.com, ripcitybasement.com, and I don't. It's very similar to, well, It's actually not similar to anything. It's got components of a BeatStars, where you can
Mhm.
sell your own beats if you're a producer, or sell your
Yeah.
own songs directly. It has components of band Bandcamp, where you can let people choose what price they want to pay for. We kind of have a lot, but it's technology that's built for artists and producers. It's like a almost like Wix, where you can just drag and drop and create your website, but
Mhm.
it's we don't have templates for photographers and models and lawyers. It's for producers and artists. So all the tech in there that we pushed is specific for this niche to help them turn their music into an e-commerce business. So you can sell your merch, you can sell singles, albums, services, you can get booked on there. People can put in pay with card, PayPal, or Cash App. Not a lot of websites will let someone pay with Cash App. So
Yeah.
it's pretty tight, but I agree with you. Like, selling directly to your fans is definitely the new sexy. You got J. Cole that's making a big push with that, selling CDs out of his trunk again. You
Taylor
got
Swift sold vinyl, 1.2 million vinyls.
yeah, that's incredible. So even if you have a small fan base of 100 people that really mess with you and will support you by buying music or product on your own website instead of waiting to stream it, that's the difference between paying your rent or buying an ice cream cone. Not even the scoop of ice cream, just the cone. That's what you're getting off of the streaming platforms. But if you have X amount of people that are clicking the link in your bio to go support you, would you rather them pay you a half a penny per stream, or would you rather have them pay you $1.99 for a song?
Yeah. I
You
have a
know,
customer, I don't know if you've heard of him, PBE Pluto,
I have heard of them.
and this guy gets paid shows constantly, man, and just some of the thing. So he always just says like artists, they got to start with like a goal, like 1,000 people spending $33 every 3 to 4 months. That's almost $100,000 right there. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's merch, album, packaged or whatever. And what he does is kind of interesting. Like he'll get paid for his show. He'll get his deposit up front. Like, artists are supposed to get a deposit. He'll take that deposit and put that into advertising the show locally. And then he goes, does the show, he get his other deposit, sell whatever merch he sells. But by the time he usually leaves that area, he might have two to three local artists that are willing to pay for a feature.
Mm,
He's charging 1,500 a feature.
that's tight.
So he could literally leave with like $4,500 off of features, not counting his other deposit, the second half of deposit, and if he sells merch, because he got a whole room in his house just full of merch. And he's an ex-military guy that basically said he took stuff he learned in the military and applied it to what he does. And I seen a video also with they had Neo was on there talking about how music isn't special no more, but they were on there talking about this I guess they say it's like a little CD, but you can make it in different objects where you tap it to your phone and it downloads the music to your phone.
I've
So
seen that.
there's two ways you could do it. So my man was saying, what you do is you could keep it on the keychain. You keep that one joint, you buy the one joint, keep it on your keychain, and you could kind of like hand to hand where people like you see somebody they want to buy your album, they could send you $5-10 on the Cash App, whatever you want. As soon as they send you the Cash App, they just tap it and download it on their phone. Or they could buy it as a collector's item to have it where they could wear it around their neck, and they could tap it anytime, and just in case you lose your phone. People always cracking their phones, gotta get new phones. Now you still got it there to tap again on your new phone or whatever. So you could do it as a collectible, and it goes digitally on your phone. But he was saying that you could just buy one of those and just have people buy it at $10 to tap, $5-10 to tap.
Do you know what those things are called? I'm gonna write that down.
I can find out. I'll text my man when we get off here, and I'll copy paste it and text you. He told me the name of it. It's some kind of chip or something. You could get it made as anything. They don't got to be CDs. You could get it made as like looking like a boombox, whatever. But you keep it on your keychain or you go wear it around your neck, and they just be like, hey, $5, $10, Cash App it, Venmo me, Zelle it. And every time they do, they could just tap and download it and be on their way.
That's tight. I like that.
And that's more and it's direct to marketing with technology. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Not really getting in the way, because that's the problem. Technology, people are convinced that they got to copy the major labels. You're not on a major label. You don't got to deal with a major label. Why you got to copy the major artists? Why you do everything they had to do to get to the point they're at. But once they're at that point, you don't copy the things they're doing when they're big. You copy the things they're doing before they got big.
Right. Right.
But everybody's like, I want to get to a major label, sign a record deal. Nobody's thinking about, let me go to the bank and do I got assets? Do I got credit? Can I get the funding myself? You could go get funding other ways besides a bank. You could find investors, D-boys. You don't necessarily got to go through a label all the time. And I think that's the problem. Is like everybody they got the same goal. Get signed with a major label, get famous, do this, that. Let's get 100 fans willing to buy whatever. A t-shirt, hat, hoodie, digital download. Then let's move that up to 1,000. Now we're at 1,000. Let's get to 5,000. I know a chick that got like 10,000 fans, and every time she drops a single or drops an album, they're all buying it. Just chick don't even tour, man. And her husband literally quit his job and works to help, like, because they ship out actual physical CDs too as well, and stuff like that. So you don't even got a tour. You don't even got a tour to do shows to make a living off of the music.
Right.
You don't.
There's a guy named Nick D, and he's married and has kids, and he doesn't want to tour, but he does I think he does like 1 million streams a day. 1 million
That's
streams
crazy.
a day, Paul. Independent.
On like what, DSPs?
Yeah, dude.
That's literally $4,000 a day, man. Independent, man. You ain't gotta chip nobody in. You're literally making about 100,000 a month.
And all he does is post TikTok videos of himself in different locations. He'll set up a mic and he'll do his thing, wear different clothes. It has me inspired. Like, I've been doing that recently, just like not even paying for music videos, just going vertical with the camera, getting in front of something clever, me walking across the bridge in Grants Pass and just singing my song with a coffee cup in my hand. Coffee in the morning never felt as good as it does now. Now that I got you out my house, now that I got my ass off the couch, and then I label it your new breakup song. That's it. And it does crazy views, like
we
just
deal with an artist. We do promotion for this artist that, like, I got the software too, but like the one I got doesn't quite do what they do. But like now you can just take the picture and turn it into a whole music video.
Yeah.
And they're only like $100 a video because normally the software I got only does 6-second clips, and it's like 25 credits a clip. They give you about 1,000 credits for like $10 a month. But to do the bigger, longer videos, they take more credits. You know what I'm saying? But they're doing like they'll just take a picture and turn it into a whole music video for like $100 a video instead of paying thousands of dollars to have somebody come in and shoot the whole music video and have to go through the whole editing process and everything.
Is there a good site you can recommend for AI videos? Like, what's a good one that you know of?
There was a one. I have to go back into the text I had. My guy Olivio Harris. He's got a guy that they created an AI artist, and they're using two different things. They're using Suno, and there's this other. Oh, I know. I forgot the name of it, but I got it in my text. There's this one that they told me about, and he's actually using the same one. You could damn near make a movie with this one I'm about to send you. Like, they're literally making movies with these AI videos ones. I forgot what the name of it. I got to go through my text, but I'm going to text it to you. Like, when I send you this video, you can make a Lord of the Rings movie with this thing, man.
I've heard of Sora. It's like integrates with
Sora,
GPT.
yeah, yeah, but there's two versions of Sora. There's a Sora version that's kind of like TikTok, and
Uh-huh.
then there's one that's kind of more just like just for making the content. The version that you got iPhone.
Yeah,
The version on iPhone is the one that is the Sora 2. Like they got Sora 2 is the one you want to use. And basically you could take a picture of you and make all types of videos. Um man, this AI is crazy. I mean, with just chat GBT and some of the images I do, like it could take, I mean, it's crazy, dude. Like it really is. This AI shit is crazy. But
okay,
like
so
I
I
said, I
Sora.
gotta get the name of that app. So I'm gonna get the name of the video app where they do the movies and the music video, and I'm gonna find the name. My man will text it to me. We talked about it yesterday. It's called some kind of chip. Basically, the one where you can just scan it on your phone, and you could just they cash app you and they scan it, or you can actually get them made up where you sell them as physical products or collectors items, and they can do whatever what they want with it.
That's tight, bro. Put me on game. I've heard about some of these things, but I need to tighten up my merch game. I'm getting booked for a lot of shows. I've been booked every Friday, Saturday the past like
That's
two,
what's
three
up.
years. Now I'm booking for bigger acts, going on tour with bigger acts. I got Andre Nicotina. I'm his tour DJ and booking agent in the Northwest and Northern Cali. We're going to Arizona, Montana, Boise, Salt Lake this year. So kind of expanding with him. NB Ridas, doing a couple shows with them this year. We got Cottonmouth Kings,
Yeah, I
RBL,
remember them.
and I'm doing a two short
Wait, you said RBL who?
RBL Posse.
Yeah, I only one of those cats is alive though. I interviewed him. Black C, ain't
Yeah,
that his
Black
name?
Sea. Yep, yep.
Y-
There was a Black Sea and a Mr. C, not to get
Yeah.
confused. But yeah, you're right. Just Black Sea is the original surviving member.
Two
But
of them cats got murdered, if I'm not both of them got murdered, the other two cats.
yeah, yeah. Streets is no
We
joke.
talked about on the podcast, man. There was actually a freaking gang war over that shit, man, when one of those cats got killed.
Yeah, because they were respected in the Bay, like heavy.
Yeah.
There's a blue board on my shoulder. Can I kill it? You know, don't give me no Bam or weed. We don't smoke that shit in the SFC. Like those were very popular songs, you know, early Bay Area rap. So they're very respected for sure.
The Bay Area have a lot of influence over Portland?
Huge, Paul, huge. Because like, and in Southern Oregon where I grew up, because we're on the border of Cali. So before there was a Brenboy, we
Yeah.
didn't have a hometown hero. We were like, who's the closest person to us? Northern California. So we looked
Yeah.
at all these guys like, oh, that's touchable, that's reachable, you know. So we listened to a lot of Bay Area rap. Andre Nicotina and Mac Dre were huge influences for people in my town. So it's just a dream come true that I didn't even plan, just happened that I'm working with him now, and he's one of my biggest clients. That's just something in the stars was written for me. But those guys were like the kings to us because they were real close. In
Mm.
Portland, there's always been a heavy correlation because Bay Area rappers would come up to Portland. It's a vice city. You know, there's more strip clubs per capita than Vegas, than anywhere in the
Okay.
country. So you got no sales tax, you got cheap drinks, cheap entertainment. So these Bay Area cats would come up here and live like superstars for a weekend. And people in Oregon would be like, oh yeah, I know these guys. Like, that's cool that they're here, like functioning with us live in the club like this. They again reach out and touch them, you know, not literally, you might get popped in the mouth, but like they're so close to you that you
Yeah.
can be damn, that's me. That's I'm like you can relate to them, you know. So they had a huge influence in Oregon and in Seattle too, just because they constantly came to serve these markets, you know, these D class markets in Oregon that don't get a lot of shows. These Bay Area cats would come show love. They would come up to Oregon all the time to do shows and sell out because to us, they're superstars. They might not be that way in North Carolina or in Miami, but to
Yeah.
us, we liked them more than we were listening to the mainstream people. We supported their music and bought their albums at the record stores for sure.
I've had a few of them on here. Old Girl from the Conscious Daughters, um, DYs from the Bums. I think it's from that area. And I was big on Too Short. Like I literally, when I was a kid, I had Too Short written in my hair at the barber's one time. Too Short was huge to me, man.
You got a design in the side of your head?
Yeah, I had number 2 and I had the word short. I didn't want to get TOO short, but I had the number 2 and short. I was so big on Too Short back in the days, man. Cause I mean, I'm short anyway. I'm 5'4", so I was big on Too Short.
I got a design in my hair right now. Probably it's fading a little bit, but
Yeah, I can
I've
see
never,
it.
I've never written any words on it. That would be kind of cool. Maybe just do like B-boy. And I never really thought that's next level, bro. But that's tight. Too short in the hair.
Yeah, I was huge on him. Well, this is one of the longest interviews I've had in a while. Before we let you go, man, any shout outs or anything you want to say?
Always shout out to my mama. She's my biggest fan and always
That's what's up.
big supporter. Much love. Um, Shout out to any artists out there and DJs. I'm also a club DJ and tour DJ, and I got a lot of respect for the DJs. So if you're a DJ or artist who's trying to pursue this or trying to go to that next level, keep going. I don't know who I'm talking to right now exactly, but I know somebody is going to resonate with this. It really is possible. Everything that you're speaking into existence. You're never not attracting. You're always attracting. Just what are you attracting? If you think about it and talk about it, you'll get more of it. So shout out to the artists who are living their dreams, whether you're at this stage or that stage or this stage. If you're doing it right now, I respect you. And shout out to you for even trying, because not everybody can do what we do. And for some people, it's written in the stars, and for some people, it's written in the sand. And if you think that you are meant to do this and you're doing it, I don't care what level that you're at, respect.
Yeah, because I think this is the toughest business to break into. I really do.
It is hard. And when people ask my advice of what would you say to an artist who's trying to do this, I will say, don't, because it's so hard unless you think that this is what you're supposed to be doing in life. If you feel like this is my calling, then go for it. Don't let anybody tell you anything else. But if you're just playing around, just don't, because it is so hard. And if this isn't for you, it's really hard to get rich by just making music. You have to sell weed or
Yeah.
freaking have a label or be an executive, or you got to do something, sell tickets. You got to I DJ too. I make more money DJing than I do rapping, like
Yeah.
do something that's going to make the money. Let the music bring you the attention, but have product for sale and develop a strategy and a plan. But you're right, Paul. It is so
It's
hard.
easier to get gigs as a DJ. It's so much easier to get gigs as a DJ.
Well, yeah, people want to dance for 5 hours, but they
Yeah.
don't want to hear me barking songs that they don't know over a microphone for longer than 20 minutes, unless it's my hometown or markets that I go to and they know the Oregon song and they know, then it's like they are excited to see me. That's why I still have shows. I still open up for big acts and bigger spots. But you're right, everybody's going to need a DJ. And if you can DJ and then sing 2 or 3 songs and get back to DJing, that's all people are going to remember you for anyways, is just a few songs. You don't need a 20-minute set. Just DJ, throw a party, get on the mic for a couple songs, let them take videos, go back to dancing. Woo! That's a good business model.
Yeah, I think part of the problem with the music business is There's not a lot of longevity. I think a lot of people, when they first got into it, they looked at it like this is the thing they're gonna be doing for the rest of their life. But like you said, you gotta do so many other things. The merch really is where it's at nowadays. You got groups like Griselda that if it wasn't for merch, the music wouldn't even probably been where it was at because they use the merch to sell the music. And I think that's the easier way to do it. You use the merch to sell the music.
As far as the money goes, I think you're absolutely right because I'm a huge Griselda fan. I like everybody in that group. Um, they make my hip hop heart happy. They're like the only people I can listen to that makes me go, "Oh my gosh, this I feel this," you know. So they're really rapping. I got respect, but I've never purchased anything from them. I've only listened to their music.
Yeah.
So there's people like me that are huge Griselda fans that's never spent an actual penny from them. But I'm sure in their area, when they have these fly ass merch logos and stuff on there, like I, yeah, people are gonna want to rock that, and you're gonna make way
Yeah.
more money. You know, just like Nipsey Hussle said, it's way more profit in these clothes. That's why I give away my music and make double back in shows. I 360 myself and I exercise control. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, dude. Well, you know, you could sell a $20 t-shirt, $50 hoodie. Music is a half a penny per stream, Cuddy. Do the
And all
math.
you gotta do really is you can actually package it the music with the merch where it still counts as sales,
Right,
you
right.
know, if you care about that, because like counting sales has this it could give you leverage, when you got a certain amount of sales, you definitely can have leverage, but yeah, I mean, but Griselda would also do limited editions. So when you only selling like, there's only like 1,000 shirts available, you got 10, 20, 30,000 fans. Hey, everybody ain't gonna get a shirt. So that's why they sell so high because they're always limited edition, man. But yeah, I agree with you. Griselda's putting out good product on both ends, man, and that's really what matters.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we about to wrap it up. We about to hit that 2 hour mark, man. Instagram will try to kick you off sometimes, man. But I appreciate you taking the time out, man. We're gonna probably have a lot of clips to clip up, man. I think we talk about a lot of good stuff, especially the radio stuff. I think for artists, it's very important to understand these kind of things and how they work because they just don't understand how radio really works. They have their own idea of what should be going on with radio, but they don't understand really how things work.
Yeah, you got it. This was a great convo, Paul. I know we've known each other for years and we've worked together professionally for a long time. And um, this has been really cool to connect with you like this. I think what you're doing is dope. And yeah, shout out to you for sure. Thank you for having me on.
And do me a favor, man. Send me a little message so I can send out like an email to like all my customers to see it. Try to get them to, go to your site and submit the music. You know what I'm saying?
Cool, cool. I'll do that.
Because I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind like giving artists game and stuff like that. I just hate when they don't follow up. Like when I let when I try to give them a free advice like this is something you could do for free. You could do this for free. You don't got to pay a cat like me, and they don't follow up. That's when I kind of really get it irritates me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel
Like when
you.
they don't follow through, because I've spoken a lot of things before, a lot of music conferences for people, and we'll give out contact information to artists, and you just see like a small portion of them like really follow through. Like you took all this time to come here to listen to us talk, only to not do nothing.
What was the point?
Yeah, it's like you wasted your time, you wasted our time, you wasted everybody's time, man.
Right.
You know. But yeah, appreciate you, man. You're more than welcome to come back on. Yeah, let's have you back on when you start to drop the new album.
That sounds great. I would love to do that. Thank you,
All
Paul. It's
right.
been a lot of fun.
Enjoy your night, man.
All right, you too, brother. We'll chat real soon.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Well, there you have it, Brent Boy. He's from Oregon. He's from Oregon. Drinks his coffee, smokes his reefer in the morning. Very interesting, man. A lot of respect for the guy like that because He's not just an artist, he actually, is music director for a radio station. I always felt like artists should find other things that they could do that could benefit them as an artist. Like a lot of when I got into radio and doing digital radio on radio, part of the reason was I'm having this trouble with FM radio give me the radio play that I felt I deserved, which I probably didn't deserve the radio play I thought I deserved. But I said, hey, instead of battling FM radio, let me just start my own joint and I could play my music anytime I want to play my music. Play my music on my radio station anytime I want to play it. When I first got into celebrity bookings, a big part of the reason I got into that, which was the first show I ever booked, was Flip Mode and Raw Digger, was partially so I could open up for these artists because I couldn't get openers beforehand. You you had all these major artists coming through. I couldn't get opening slots like I wanted to try to get opening slots for a lot of these major artists. And so I decided, hey, well, if I book this artist, even as a booking agent, get a show promoter to book them, I could take my little fee as a booking agent, which was 20%, and I could have some control over the opener, you know, or some influence over the opener. So for a lot of shows, I would basically, first show open, I remember second show I had first show I had somebody complaining because I had them performing with me and they didn't get enough time. They was complaining about time. So after that, I was just like, I want other cats to just get opening slots on the shows I was doing. But at the same time, I still, was able to benefit off of that, you know, multiple ways, not just building relationships with the people I'm booking, but also getting paid to book them and also being over the able to open up for them and get my name and brand out there. So I think if artists can do things outside of just rapping and making music, that benefits them as an artist, do it. So if you can be a DJ, you know, and an artist, be a DJ and an artist, because then as a DJ, you could spin your music in the club if you got a gig in a club or if you got a mix show on a radio station. So yeah, man, I got a lot of respect for artists that do multiple things, wear multiple hats, especially when it can benefit them as an artist as well, you know. But yeah, we about to wrap it up, man. Appreciate everybody that stayed on and tuned in. See what we got on the Instagram. Appreciate Treebeard Teacher. Appreciate you with the comments. Album out UK. Yeah. Tap me in. Yo, what up, family? UG Cellar Dwellers. Appreciate you. That's my guy. I need to get him back on the shows. Yeah, appreciate everybody tuning in on Instagram. Everybody tune in on YouTube, Facebook. Go follow Brenboy. Go check out Rip City Basement. That's his website. I'm gonna send out an email to my customers, a lot of the artists that I promote, and see if they're interested in going here, downloading that app, and that way they could submit their music to FM radio. Because if you're not getting radio play in Portland, Oregon, you know, and you got the opportunity to get radio play in Portland, Oregon, and you don't gotta pay for it, all you gotta do is download the app and submit. Why not do it? Why not do it? You should be doing it every time you drop a song, as far as I'm concerned. You know, um, we got an interview coming up later in the month. Easy LP. Be on the lookout for that. Easy LP produced for Biggie Smalls. I Get Money produced Capone Nori, Blood Money, Iraq, See the World, Iraq produced the Special Delivery, GDAP produced the Bad Boy Shine. So he did at least 3 hits for Bad Boy back in the days. A lot of other dope beats, and I'm also working on No Guarantees, but we're trying to get a couple of those cats from Another Bad Creation when I was a kid, ABC, Aisha. Try to get 1 or 2 of those on the podcast as well. We should have some more interviews coming as well. And also go follow the Paul Pickett podcast. If you're into combat sports, you're into bare knuckle fighting. I interview a lot of bare knuckle fighters on there and sometimes boxers and MMA guys as well. But I appreciate y'all tapping in. We about to close it out before Instagram. They be kicking people off after that 2 hour mark sometimes. So appreciate y'all tuning in. Go follow Brenboy, follow Live for Vietnam on all platforms, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and everything else. Appreciate y'all. Peace, and I'm out.